Today we're reviewing the Harden Volume 9s. These babies retail for a not so bad $160, and the best place to get them will be the first link in the description. But without further ado, let's get to the review. Off rip, we always talk traction. The Harden 9s feature a radial traction pattern with 2 radial pods in the forefoot. And you may be thinking, these look awfully similar to another shoe I've seen in the past. And you'd be correct, because these right here are the Harden Volume 8s. Similarities, it's pretty much the same exact pattern. Only real difference is these babies feature this weird rigid design, whereas these are full radial. So slight difference, but damn near the same thing. I'll talk about performance in a second, but let's just say they chose a similar pattern for a very good reason. Now, the materials that make up the outsole of the Harden 8s are a combination of both translucent and solid medium level hardness rubber. And now I want to preface this with the different colorways may have different materials. I know with the Harden Volume 8s, some of them were similar to this, like the ones I showed you, where this is translucent, but the black and the purple is solid, but some have full solid or full translucent. But for the most part with Adidas, I don't notice too much of a difference. With some companies, some of the translucent picks up dust faster or has better traction. But with Adidas, not too much of a difference, so I shouldn't have mentioned it in the first place. But the materials, long story short, for indoor use, absolutely perfect. That medium level hardness rubber is literally ideal. For outdoor use, between the very shallow grooves and the not super hard materials, I would say avoid outdoor use. There are way better options. Again, if you want to, you can. It's a free country. But I wouldn't recommend it. But enough yapping about the technology. Let's talk performance. Starting off with the traction test. Grippy, grippy. I always like to preface the performance on the traction section with the simple fact that the court I play on, Pinnacle Athletic Campus, has one of the shittiest courts in North America. I don't think they've cleaned the court since about 2023, but recently they brought my favorite worker back, so maybe it will be cleaned soon. But performance, the Harden 9s perform phenomenal, especially on a good court, but even on a bad court. I had no issues making fast cuts or playing defense. I'd say on a good court, S-tier traction. On a dusty court, I'd move towards like a B+ traction. I say this because these babies picked up dust really fast. I don't know if it's because the translucent traction picks up dust faster, or maybe it's the shallow grooves, or maybe it's just the court I play on is getting that bad that there's no helping it. So to summarize, performance was overall really amazing in the traction department. I'll easily give these a 9 out of 10. Next off, we talk cushion. From my research for this video, I couldn't track down an official website talking about what the cushion was made up of, but I do have an educated guess. If I had to take a guess, if there was $1 million on the line, I would predict that this is their light boost technology. But let's move on from the technology. That doesn't matter too much, and I don't know much about it. So let's just talk performance. And the cushion on this shoe, man, I'd say it's pretty much the highlight of the shoe. Felt insanely low to the ground, impact protection out of this world, good amount of bounce, and overall just felt amazing on court. Which again is why I kind of think it's their light boost technology. To get to the point, to not glaze too much, phenomenal S-tier traction, easy 9.7 out of 10. Now let's talk support. The Harden 9s feature a bunch of cool supportive technology, so let's go through the lineup. Firstly, the outsole of the Harden 9s actually goes slightly up onto the midsole, providing a little extra support in both the forefoot and the heel. Additionally, these babies feature a heel counter in the back, which appears to be made out of carbon fiber, lightweight, helps support, and lockdown. And lastly, right above that traction pattern is Adidas's X plate. This is essentially a torsional plate that helps with stability, support, and a whole lot of energy return. With all that technology, felt super duper secure. Lateral movement, cutting to the basket, making fast drives, dunking on people, ran into no issues with the support. So to summarize, I'd say this support is easily A tier. In other words, 9 out of 10. Also around here, I like to mention the fit. And with the Harden 9s, I'd say 100% true to size. They fit damn near, I'd say pretty much exactly the same as the Harden 8s. And pretty much the same to every other hoop shoe. So if you wear an 11, and whatever other hoop shoe you wear, getting 11 with these. Now let's talk materials. For the outsole materials, we mentioned it earlier. Translucent and solid medium level hardness rubber. Do we need to talk about it again? No, we don't. Let's use this time to talk about the premium upper that the Harden 9s feature. The upper is made up of what feels to be a synthetic suede combined with a little bit of textile. And in this colorway, that synthetic suede features this beautiful snake scaling pattern because these babies right here are the Harden 9 Year of the Snake. If you didn't know. That synthetic upper feels insanely premium and the textile accents make it extremely lightweight and really comfortable. And on top of that, what I like to mention the materials is the weight of the shoe, and these babies are actually surprisingly really light. Definitely lighter than the Harden 8s and the Harden 7s. And one thing I do want to mention before I conclude this section is that I know with the Harden 9s, the materials are going to differ immensely on different colorways. I know for some other colorways, there's more of like a weird, like patent leather material. I'll pop up a picture right there. Like those look way different. But for this review specifically, I'm talking about these babies. And I love them. Overall, for these babies specifically, a 9.6 out of 10. But traditionally, if they use premium materials on one, they'll be pretty nice on the others. Lastly, I'm bringing it back. The last review, I left it out and I got a few comments saying bring it back. So I'm bringing it back. Before we conclude the review, we talk about the looks/swag rating. In this section, we talk about the silhouette, the colorway in hand, and the best colorways currently available or about to be available in this instance. First off, the silhouette on these, let's agree, crazy unique, and me personally, I love it. It's got that weird slits right here that almost makes it look like gills, that super sleek upper, the sock-like design right here. I love it. Secondly, the colorway in hand, like I mentioned earlier, is the Year of the Snake colorway. I believe this takes inspiration from the Lunar New Year or Chinese New Year and it being the Year of the Snake. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I am. But nonetheless, these babies are hot. They feature primarily what they call energy ink, or in my opinion, a deep purple with accents of black and that little bit of pink on the bottom. And on that purple, like I mentioned earlier, the snake pattern, insanely intricate and absolutely beautiful. Insanely clean colorway, and I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being the best Harden 9 colorway ever released. Might be glazing. And as of filming this, I don't think any Harden 9s are currently available for retail. I don't even think these were, I want to say released in China, not even in the US, but I got them. But since there are no other colorways currently available, I'm going to talk about the soonest colorways releasing. So let me show them to y'all. Firstly, these babies are called the Gold Metallic, and I believe they are releasing on the 25th of January. Stay tuned. And these babies, which are called the Metamorphosis, I believe are releasing on March 15th. That deep green, super beautiful. That gold, also really cute. But yeah, for looks, I'm going to be glazing the shit out of these and giving them a perfect 10 out of 10, super duper cute. And before we get that final rating, let's yap real quick. The Harden 9s feature some S-tier traction, sturdy support, premium materials, and overall some really cute looks too. Due to all this, it makes the Harden 9 absolutely cracked and easily my favorite shoe of the year thus far. So to conclude, these babies get an insane 9.4 out of 10. If you guys want these babies, I will have a link in the description for the best place to get them. And if you're interested in some more stashed hooper, man, feel free to click on that video. There's a really cute guy with a mustache that would love for you to watch it.